What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I want to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you already know what I'm going to talk about, and that's the huge roster purge. Now, I said this on Twitter that I was going to talk about it. I couldn't talk about it around the time it happened, just because I wasn't at home. But today, which is Thursday, February 8th, I believe the trade deadline was exactly at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when it ended. And pretty much in between 1 and like 2:30, the Cavaliers traded most of their rotation, to various teams. And I'm going to get into it and how it affects the Cleveland Cavalier team in the future. And are they better? Are they worse? But let's get into the trades right now. First trade, the first one that happened, which was the one that's the most talked about, it's the one that people are still talking about, is the Cavaliers trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Cavaliers traded Isaiah Thomas, Shannon Fry, and their 2018 first round pick to get from the Lakers Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. Now, this trade, it works well. I would say more so for the Lakers. Especially with the Jordan Clarkson contract, he was set to make $26 million. Now they shedded that contract. Now they open up cap space for next year to get a big free agent, maybe LeBron. So if that turns out to be the case, the Cavs are gonna look like idiots because you just got finessed by the Lakers. And Larry Nance. How that works out for the Cavs, you get an athletic big. One problem with the Cavs this whole season, they're one of the oldest teams in the NBA, so you get a young guy who, his game's still growing, but he's a big-time athlete, and that's just something you can't teach. So I like these picks. Well, I like these pickups, I'm sorry. But the Jordan Clarkson, that contract combined with the Tristan Thompson contract on the Cavs books, not very good, especially if Jordan Clarkson doesn't turn out and they're stuck with him for the rest, for the end of the season. And we don't know what's going to happen in the offseason with LeBron. What they got rid of, Shannon Fry, he barely played. Only time he plays when it was garbage time. The Cavs always trading their picks away, or LeBron teams always trade their picks away. So, I guess then they still got the Brooklyn pick, so, that's going to more than likely be a high pick anyways. Isaiah Thomas, they've been wanting to get rid of this guy, and this is the guy that you traded Kyrie, and Kyrie wanted out, so they had to get something, but he hasn't worked out for them. Of course, he's not going to give you defense. He's never been that guy. He's not going to make anyone better. He's a guy who he gets his own offense, and when he was in there, he just didn't do that. He didn't get his own offense, and a lot of people blaming him for the defensive problems of the Cavs. Hell no. You go watch those games. He's bad, definitely, but did anyone think he would come in and turn that team around defensively when they were bad? But when he was injured. And they were still bad when he came back, so nothing really changed. They probably got worse, and you could say, but they weren't good. They still weren't, even before him, they were still one of the worst defensive teams. So I don't like people blaming him solely for that, and don't even look at the other guys, mainly LeBron, who's been awful on defense. But that's that first trade. The second trade, the Cavs trade Iman Shumpert, Jay Crowder. Well, Iman Shumpert goes to the Sacramento Kings. They traded him to the Sacramento Kings. They traded Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder to the Utah Jazz. And they got back Rodney Hood and George Hill. Now, this is a steal one right here, because the only guy you could say that really had value was Jay Crowder. Iman Shumpert's hurt, and the Kings come out like complete morons right here. Like, you trade one of your guys for an injured player? They do get a 2020 second round pick, but still, you got Iman Shumpert, who's an injured player. I didn't get that for Sacramento. But they get Rodney Hood, they get George Hill, and you essentially had to give up Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder. Derrick Rose, a guy who he just can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. His minutes were down. Jay Crowder, he's a guy who played well in Boston, played great defense. Well, I won't say great, but he gave effort on defense more than he gave this year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But he took some steps back defensively. Offensively, his shot was broke. He couldn't make anything. So I think the Cavs got out like bandits with this one, more so than the first one, which because of that Jordan Clarkson contract that really is that could hurt them in the future. But this one is definitely better. I think with the guys they gave up, they definitely get better. Obviously time will tell if this actually works out, if any of these trades actually work out for them. But on paper, I think they got out with this one pretty good. Third trade, they trade Dwayne Wade to the Miami Heat for the Miami Heat, I believe, a second round pick for 2018. And like I said, it was just complete. They completely gutting the roster. And Dwayne Wade, he was, with the guys they were getting, he was going to take even more of a limited role. He was already coming off the bench as that sixth man. I think he was going to take more of a limited role if he stayed behind. And it's also part of the, this youth thing they're trying to do. Although George Hill's a little bit older, Dwayne Wade's on the decline in his career. But I thought he had moments where he made plays. But he's clearly done for. I mean, this last couple of years, you knew that he was done for in Miami. So he ends up going back to the team that drafted him. And that's the team he said he wanted to retire for. He didn't want to leave initially when he went to the Bulls, but the Heat didn't pay him what they wanted, what he wanted to make. So I guess it worked out for him. He ended up going back to the Heat. And he essentially, because the Bulls bought out his contract, I believe, last offseason, and then he made a little bit with the Cavs. So, I mean, money-wise, he's pretty good. He's probably not going to take that much. And I'm telling you, he probably plays one more season and then ends up retiring or whatever. So, I mean, I guess it works out for him. Now, does this team get better? They get younger. Well, waiting to see if they get better. I think the Rodney Hood, George Hill thing was probably the best out of the deals in terms, just because you get Derrick Rose, who barely played. His minutes started going up, but he dealt with injuries this season. Didn't play very many games. Jay Crowder was the only guy of value in that particular trade, and even still, he hasn't played well this season. Iman Shumpert hasn't played at all, barely. Wasn't even in the rotation, so he's gone. And in 2020, that pick doesn't matter. The pick honestly doesn't matter. And George Hill was a guy. If you heard all the rumors, he was one of the guys on that radar. And a bunch of other guys, DeAndre Jordan, Tyreek Evans, or whatever. That didn't fall through. We knew that wasn't gonna fall through just because the Cavs, they just didn't have the pieces to get that player. Tyreek Evans' value went up. And it's a shame because look at how far the value went down for Isaiah Thomas. Talking about a guy who Boston was able to trade him for Kyrie. I mean, Boston gave up a little bit more, but they were able to trade him for Kyrie. The only reason the Boston had to give up more was because Isaiah was hurt at the time he was being traded. So this guy gets traded again. This is after he already said he wanted to stay in Cleveland, which I think is complete bull. It was complete bull. All the bars being thrown back between players in the locker room. It bled out into the media. The guy didn't want to be there. Come on. He didn't want to be there. Does this team get better defensively? No. I mean, maybe slightly. But once they get into that culture, once you see a guy in LeBron James who's your star player not give any effort, because you look at a lot of these games, this guy doesn't give effort on defense. And once these players stay around that long enough, you'll see them regress defensively. Just you wait. You're going to see them regress defensively. But offensively, Rodney Hood's inconsistent, but can get the points. George Hill's the combo guard. They brought him in for defense. I just talked about defense. We'll see if he doesn't regress defensively. But who knows? Larry Nance, I like Larry Nance. Good athlete, still has to really hone his game. Jump shot, better defensively, but the athleticism is there, and you can do a lot off that, especially if you're able to mold the rest of his game. Jordan Clarkson, clearly not worth the money. They're gonna have to pay him next season. That depends on whatever happens with LeBron or whatever. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. Do you think the Cavs get better? Do you think they get worse? And what do you think about all the moves they made? Like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.